I got engaged to a blind Duke. Episode 136. Marin was wearing a navy blue dress for today. She had put a dagger and various preparations in her skirt pocket. She deliberately wore the bracelet that Zeromian had given her loosely on her wrist so she could remove it at any time. We have arrived, Mississippi. All right. Elmies got out first and gradually moved away from the carriage as if looking around. Wow. Mississippi. This is my first time coming to the Siran Desert. How fascinating. Elmies spoke with her voice disguised like an innocent maid. Marin took a deep breath and followed her out. It's my first time too. John Doe, thank you for your hard work. Yes, Mississippi. John Doe smiled kindly and bowed his head. As if he had finished his job, he lovingly stroked the diamond carriage and climbed back onto the coachman's seat. Several masked people got out of the black cargo carriage. And finally, Rona appeared. Already frail, she looked like she might collapse at any moment. Her mouth was gagged, and her disheveled hair messily covered her face. Mom. At Marin's voice, Rona's eyes, which had been weakly drooping, snapped open. Rona screamed as if telling her to run away and shook her head. Though her hands were tied behind her back and she couldn't move, her eyes were focused solely on Marin. How brave. As expected of the Western Duke's fiancé? A figure in a black mask holding the long rope that bound Rona tightly walked slowly forward. I'm here now, so let Mom go. We need to make a deal, right? Come closer slowly. Marin stared intently at the masked figure's crimson eyes. Yulia had said that a maid with crimson eyes had delivered the letter. Was it the same person? The voice was deep, but was it a woman? Marin walked slowly forward. Rona shed thick tears and shook her head frantically as if telling her not to come. Marin looked down at Rona's bare feet and squeezed her eyes shut before opening them. Mom, it's okay. Where are your shoes? The moment her words fell, Elmies, who had been in stealth, appeared instantly, cut the long rope, embraced Rona, and ran toward the carriage. The masked figure threw the rope they had been holding to the ground and immediately rushed at Marin. You used your head? The masked person extended their hand rather than a weapon, as if they had no intention of harming her right away. Then, Shadow M appeared in front of Marin. Please step back, Mississippi. Marin quickly nodded and looked back at Elmies. Elmies was heading toward the diamond carriage with Mom in her arms. Marin headed in the opposite direction toward the desert. If the two of them split up, the number of kidnappers would also be reduced in both directions. Marin ran straight toward the desert. Miss M, who hadn't expected Marin to flee into the desert, called out to her from behind while dealing with the kidnapper. Marin left that voice behind and continued running into the desert. When she glanced back, she could see Elmies putting Rona into the carriage. The coachman was already lying on the ground, apparently killed at some point. While watching Elmies quickly drive the carriage away, she ran with all her might. Elmies had rescued Mom. Now she just needed to survive herself. Marin continued running through the desert in her dress. Fortunately, desert monsters were said to rarely move around during the day. Running around the training ground in a dress had been a good choice. Her speed didn't decrease. Marin continued running while searching for desert flowers with her eyes. She also took out powder from the pouch she had prepared and sprinkled it little by little. After running for a while, she heard someone chasing her from behind. Stop right there. Would you stop if you were me? Marin ran with even more force. She could see desert flowers in the distance. Over there. Marin ran toward that spot and climbed up onto a large rock. You seem tired now? Do I look tired to you? Marin climbed onto the rock and shouted. I heard the Western Duke was crazy, but is his fiancée crazy too? The opponent removed their black mask. Crimson eyes. It was indeed a woman. Do you think I can't catch you if you go up there? When she removed her earring and threw it to the ground, her voice changed to a woman's voice. No. I think you can catch me. The woman, who chuckled as if absurd, took out a red jewel from her pants. It was a recording stone. I'm Jelmia. Have you heard my name? No, oh my. It would be nice to know who's killing you, right? Do you know what this is? It's a recording stone. Marin played along with what she wanted to buy time. You recognize it. I'm going to take you to a place crawling with monsters now. And I'll throw you to those creatures and record them tearing you apart. The Western Duke's fiancé, who protects the West from monsters, being thrown as food to monsters. Doesn't just thinking about it give you chills? Madness gleamed in Jelmia's crimson eyes. Was that your purpose? I wondered why you called me all the way here. Marin spoke mockingly to provoke Jelmia. The diamond carriage will become our valuable source of funds. The carriage has already gone far away. You don't know my subordinate's skills well. The guy who attacked me had decent skills too, but he's already left this world. M was dead? Shadow had died trying to protect her. Marin bit her lips and glared at Jelmia resentfully. Why are you going this far? The Duke killed my lover, so I should kill his lover too. Wouldn't that be fair? Jelmia laughed maniacally like a crazy person. She could see a sand cloud approaching from the distance. It seemed she had stalled for enough time. Seeing that Gerald killed him, your lover must have been a bad person? Revenge begets revenge. But the one who laughs last will be me. Jelmia's red lips twisted viciously. Marin took out the dagger from her hem. Are you going to stab me with that? Jelmia sneered mockingly. No. I'm going to call. What? Fortunately, the wind direction was helping her. She tore the powder pouch in her hand with the dagger. White powder scattered from the torn pouch, riding the wind and drawing a long line through the air. She threw that pouch at Jelmia. The white powder from the pouch poured down precisely from Jelmia's head, covering her entire body. What are you, Kryak? The demon beast Santi, which had approached at some point, revealed its face from within the sand. Its centipede-like appearance had a hard black exterior that glinted in the sunlight. The long teeth protruding from its mouth were like sharp knives. The white powder was chicken bone powder that Santi loved. The item she had prepared after reading about it in a book had succeeded in summoning Santi. Dozens of legs stood up sharply and pounced on Jelmia in front of it. Jelmia struck away the legs with her sword and quickly retreated backward, but she couldn't block multiple legs. Kayak. Santi opened its mouth wide and swallowed Jelmia in one bite. Marin, who witnessed that cruel sight, swallowed her scream internally and calmly hid behind the rock. The demon beast Santi slowly coiled around the rock once, then hid back into the sand. Marin held her breath in the crevice between the rocks. Fortunately, it was said that once Santi ate prey, it would hide in the sand and sleep all day. Only after Santi disappeared and a long time had passed did Marin emerge from the rock crevice. Looking around, she saw the blue sky and endlessly stretching yellow sand. It really was a desert. To think she would come to such a place. She should have borrowed a compass from Yubi's. She had heard that desert nights were extremely cold. Marin quietly climbed down from the rock as much as possible, then took out her bracelet. She straightened the bracelet and pressed the black gem. When fire came out of the rod, she brought it to the rock. Since she didn't know when she would escape from this desert, she drew a circle with the intention of conserving the fire as much as possible. It was clearly an artificial mark to anyone who saw it. The Duke couldn't see, but he wouldn't come alone. She hoped the Duke's subordinates would discover this and notice it. Gerald continued riding toward the Siran Desert without sleeping. Not sleeping for a few days was no problem for him at all. He heard the sound of a carriage running from afar. Gerald quickly approached in that direction. Even from a distance, the glittering thing was the diamond carriage.